Okay, so first off, just your name and how you spell it.
Justin Fourton, Justin Fourton.
Okay, and you are the owner.
I
Uh,
am. Pecan Lodge.
and how long have you been owner?
Since the very beginning, it's been probably 16 years now, a little over 16 years.
So this conversation with Tom Cruise's team, like, goes back how long?
Uh, at least a week and a half. They reached out to us initially to tell us that they were considering coming here, and we've been working with their team, ever since then, trying to coordinate everything, get ready for it.
So we're calling this Mission Impossible, trying to find him, come through DFW, and you've known for a bit. The moment you hear he's chosen Pecan Lodge, you're thinking what?
I mean, you don't believe it at first, and up until today, there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But their team was incredibly professional, and when he got there, I mean, he was so genuine and spent a tremendous amount of time with myself, our staff, everybody in the restaurant, taking pictures and talking to him. There weren't really any boundaries or anything like that. It was pretty incredible experience.
So, and they swear you to secrecy. I mean, what does that conversation look like with his team?
Uh, I'm sorry, say that again.
And I'm sure they're swearing you to secrecy. What does that conversation look like?
Are you talking about the lead up to him being there?
Yes.
Well, basically, they told us that they had a list of several places that they were considering, and he had gotten a couple of personal recommendations and finally made the choice to come to Pecan Lodge.
And so, when do you find out it's official?
I mean, I guess it was official from the very first call that we got, in hindsight, but I think that it was, earlier this week, when we started to get more details about the logistics of the day and how tightly everything was coordinated, it started to feel like it was pretty real at that point.
So he shows up, and he's not in just one little vehicle, is he? He's in a caravan.
Yeah, so there was a basically a police escort that took him from the airport directly to Pecan Lodge.
And what time did he
Uh,
arrive? What time
and
did he
so
arrive?
yeah, he got to the restaurant. I think it would have been sometime like right around 4 o'clock, between 4 and 4:15, I think.
And what does he order?
Yeah.
What did he order?
So so basically what we had been told in advance is that he wanted to try everything. That he when he got there, he wanted to see basically a table full of food, and this is something that he's been really excited about for a long time, I guess, being able to come to Texas and specifically come to Dallas and eat barbecue and everything like that. So, we literally rolled out the red carpet for him. There was the brisket, beef ribs, um, the all of our pork ribs and pulled pork and stuff like that. We made a special sausage for him. We've only had two kinds of sausages on a menu for 15 years, and we made one that we felt like kind of aligned with the movie and his style. So that was kind of special, and yeah, it was great.
What was in that? Okay, so remind me. I've been there way more, a lot of times. But what was special about this sausage?
Well, you have somebody that's a global icon that's coming to the restaurant, and you think about, what they represent, and you've got a guy that basically writes his own rules essentially. And so what kind of a sausage do you make for somebody like that? We wanted to do something bold. We wanted to do something that was a little bit different. And so we ended up doing it was a combination of a hatch green chili and jalapeno cheese. We used a Oaxaca cheese in it. Um, and I guess the whole idea is that, you know, this guy he doesn't really adhere to standards. He writes his own rules. You could consider him a maverick, so to speak.
Yeah.
Uh, and so the sausage we did something that was bold. We did something that would kind of surprise you, but leave you coming back for more, kind of like the movies.
Anything that, so did you sit down and eat with him, or did he eat with his entourage, or how did that work?
So he was there with friends and family. The director of the movie was there, other folks from the crew, and so they sat together. But there was quite a bit of interaction, kind of describing the food to them and what we had done, and how all this kind of came about. And I was really just kind of taken away with how genuine it was. I mean, into the meal before we brought out the banana pudding and the cobbler and all that kind of stuff. He was just as actively involved in picking up the plates and wiping the table down and helping us kind of get things cleared off so that we could get the desserts down for everybody. I mean, I don't know what to I don't know what I was knowing. I don't know what I was expecting, but he's just a great guy, just a great
Yeah.
guy all around. Spent a lot of
Anything,
time with our staff and everything. I mean, it was a great experience.
anything he said to you specifically that you'll forever remember?
There was a moment where I gave him a hat that was really special to me, and there was a story behind that that I told him. And as we were talking, he kind of leaned in and just said, I really appreciate you taking the time to tell me that because a lot of the time all I hear about is the movies and the things that I've done that are really public, but to be able to have a conversation that's kind of deep and meaningful means a lot to me. And so we had a little bit of a connection there.
Are you willing to share anything about that hat and what it meant to you?
Say that again.
Are you willing to share a little bit about that hat and what that hat looked like and what it
Yeah,
meant?
absolutely. So, my dad passed away before we started the restaurant and before my son was born. And one of the things that always meant a lot to me and that I always enjoyed doing him with him was every September, Labor Day weekend, we would go dove hunting together. And it was kind of a family reunion type thing. And so when we opened the restaurant, I wanted to do essentially like a camouflage hat every year going into the summer and into that season, just kind of in honor of my dad. And when we moved from the farmers market to Deep Ellum, one of the very first hats that we did was this camouflage hat that had a red patch on it. And I'd saved the last hat from that batch for sentimental reasons because in my mind, I was like, that's the hat that I want to give to my dad, you know. But I was thinking about today and I was thinking about, my life and with my dad being gone and the times that I've looked at some of the stuff that Tom has done and his work effort and his integrity and everything like that. And I thought, it's probably time to let this go and give it to him and share that with him. And so I did.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Anything that he ate and was like gave you a thumbs up or was like that is incredible.
So everything that he ate, from what I understand, he loved. I wasn't there watching him eat all of it. There was a tremendous amount of food on the table. And I will say, though, that we got a call about 45 minutes after he left asking us to bring more food to meet his team at the location at North Park after their premiere so that he could get more of the food.
That's that's impressive.
I mean, it was enough for him to be here, but to get the validation that he enjoyed it and it was significant enough that after eating it just an hour later, he was wanting more and wanting to bring some to his team it was pretty cool.
And I know your shop is notorious for running out of stuff because man, I mean you have such a huge draw. How did you make sure that you had enough for Tom Cruise and his team?
Um, well, at this point during COVID, we had to start opening for lunch and dinner basically every day of the week. And so we've been accustomed to basically doing two batches of food, cooking one for lunch and one for dinner. And so as we were planning out the day and planning out the week, we basically planned more food since he was coming kind of towards the later part of the day. And that's about the time that like all of the new stuff for dinner is coming off and everything. So we knew to plan a little bit extra for him, and we knew that there would probably be people that were speculating on where he would be, and we'd be a little bit busier today, and that was the truth. So, but I think for the most part, we got it right, and we had plenty of food for him, and the restaurant was full after he left, and plenty of food for everybody that was coming in.
You, I mean, talk about keeping that under tight lid. You guys did a great job. I mean, how badly did you bite your lip in terms of just wanting to tell the world?
Oh my God. Listen, it took everything I had not to say anything. And they were very, very particular about this is friends and family only. There's that we can't have the media there. They can't get out because the crowds would be uncontrollable if anything like that got out. And so um, you know, Tom is probably the biggest celebrity that we've ever worked with before, but there's been a lot of people that have come through and we're kind of familiar with that. And so being able to provide that privacy and to be able to provide a safe environment for them to do what they need to do is something that we're pretty accustomed to.
What's your favorite Tom Cruise movie?
Oh my gosh, it has to be Top Gun. It has to be Top Gun. But I tell you what, I'm going to be the first one in line to see this Mission Impossible movie. It's going to be great.
You going this weekend?
I'm going to go this weekend.
Okay. What's your favorite Tom Cruise line?
What's that?
What's your favorite Tom Cruise line?
Help me help you.
That's fair. Yeah, there's plenty of them, aren't there?
Oh man, there's a ton. I mean, we've been going back and forth through the restaurant, trading quotes and stuff like that. I mean, it's just It's fan. I mean, he's a global icon. I can't think of anybody that really has a reputation and a reach like he does.
Did he sign anything in your shop?
He didn't, but he asked me to sign the hat that I gave him. And
Ah,
so that was a pretty special moment. I was not anticipating that, but after he finished eating, he took the time to walk around to every single table in the restaurant and take pictures with the people that were there and spend a few minutes talking to them and having that personal interaction. And like I said, we've had a bunch of people come to the restaurant. I've never seen anybody put that kind of effort into it. And the energy that he brought and the sincerity that he brought to those interactions, it was amazing.
Justin, that is awesome. I am so happy for you.
Well, thank you.